welcome to Sport Talk on Enterprise TV, where we give you the latest on what is happening in the world of sport. UEFA Champions League continues, where the likes of reigning champions lost at home to Vincent Kompany's side, Bayern Munich 1-2, and of course, how about Slavia Prague lost to Arsenal 0-3, and action continues today, where we see the likes of Manchester City will be playing today. We'll be doing the review and of course the preview of the matches that will be going down today, 5th November 2025. If you are joining us for the first time, please do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. My name is John Alnassr. Join me and let's ride together. Joining me virtually today is Daniel Ozege, making a return back to Sport Talk. Daniel, welcome to Sport Talk.
Hello, Superman. Thank you for having me on the program. It's been a very long time. It's a nice joining you. I feel very great to be here and I'm ready to go.
All right, great to have you. Once again, Daniel Ozege. We'll be talking about UEFA Champions League. Luis Díaz scored twice and was sent off as Bayern Munich maintained their perfect record this season with a statement 2-1 win away to title holders Paris Saint-Germain on Tuesday, 4th November in a glamour Champions League tie marred by a first-half injury to Achraf Hakimi. They didn't only lose only Achraf Hakimi, they also lost the big man himself, the Ballon d'Or holder, talking about Ousmane Dembele. And of course, before yesterday's game, they also lost Desiree Doué. And now, Achraf Hakimi. Kvaratskhelia is not 100% fit. Johan Neves came on in that game also. It's looking like Paris Saint-Germain are really facing a lot this time around. But we can't take away the performance of the man called Luis Díaz. Scored 2 goals and of course was sent off. And Liverpool fans are now shouting, why did we sell Luis Díaz to Bayern Munich? What are your thoughts? I saw two giants yesterday, Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich. PSG lost, Luis Enrique's side lost 1-2 to Vincent Kompany's side. What are your thoughts on that game, Daniel Ozege?
I think, first of all, the UEFA Champions League is proving that it's a fight of sweat and blood. Because in last match they produced 7 red cards. And this match day, after the very first half of the match, they already have 3 red cards produced. It goes to show that every team, are trying to put their right foot forward, but their right foot looks like the one that will injure, get the opponent injured and probably get their player sent off. All right, but you talked about the match between Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich. I mean, it was a very interesting first half. Bayern Munich swinging into the lead early on as the 4th minute through Luis Díaz. He doubled the lead for them, but at some point it looked like he was going to turn from victor to villain. But thankfully, his teammates were able to hold their own. All right, and they could see how that victory. I think it's a very, very impressive start that Bayern Munich have had this season. I mean, we talk about the fact that they're on top of the table in the Champions League. You talk about the fact that they're on top of the table in the Bundesliga, and they've done it in excellent fashion. With 9 games played in the Bundesliga, 9 victories, only 4 goals conceded and 33 goals scored. All right,
that's crazy.
Take a look at the Champions League. 4 games played, all 4 games won. 14 goals scored, only 3 conceded. So they conceded 7 goals in 13 top, top high-level competition. I'm not talking about I don't want to talk about the GFP Pokal. We're talking about the major titles, the 2 bigger titles than the GFP Pokal. I think it's been a dream come true that of season. I mean, even in the Champions League, we're talking about they defeated the defending champions last night.
Yes, of course.
I think it was a match. It was a match they won or match they 2 when they came up against. I think a match they 2 when they came up against Chelsea.
The world champions.
The world champions.
Yes, of course.
So it looks like Bayern are the team to beat, and it's not very often you get to see Bayern Munich having to defend for their life. But the second half, they had all 10 players behind the ball. And it had never happened before. I mean, I've seen games where Bayern Munich will be red-carded in the Bundesliga and they'll still be the ones who have the possession.
Yes.
So they were limited to just 35% of the ball possession last night, which is very unusual for Bayern Munich standard. But I mean, the win is a win, you know, and they found a way to get it. Even they were also subjected to just one corner kick throughout the match. You know, as against Paris Saint-Germain, who had about 9 or 10 of them. You know, so I think it's a fantastic victory for them, and I like the fact that their defense was tested. Paris Saint-Germain kept on knocking, and they did really well. I think they deserve to have smacked something from that match, but you know, unfortunately for them, they couldn't see it over the line, and the team that had more organization, you know, achieved. You know, victory or secured victory rather than Bayern Munich all the way.
All right, Daniel, before we leave PSG versus Bayern Munich, what is that one thing that Vincent Kompany is doing presently and is working for him at Bayern Munich?
All right, I think the signing of Luis Díaz has proven to be very vital for them because you take out Harry Kane is a top scorer in the team.
Yes.
For a team that just joined barely 3 months ago, I think that's an impressive one for the Colombian. I mean, his talent has never been in doubt. All right, so it's just that we didn't expect him to do something this much. Okay, so I think what has been working for them definitely has to be the organization in the team.
Okay.
I mentioned two keys, some key stats this season. They've been playing attacking football. That's why, like I said, they've scored 33 goals in 9 games in the Bundesliga. You do your maths, and that gives you an average of 3.5 goals per game. Just over 3.5 goals per game. I think 3.6 goals per game. All right. You look at the fact that of those 9 games, they've only conceded 4 goals in the league, and they've averaged conceding at least keeping at least 1 clean sheet in every 2 games. You know, I understand that, and it's even better than that. Okay, so I think the team is very, very organized. He has a very stable starting lineup. You know, like the popular saying, if it's not broke, you don't fix it. So he retains that starting lineup with Harry Kane at the top, Luis Díaz on the left, Michael Olise on the right. You know, and Gnabry now playing in that number 10 role. Due to the absence of Musiala.
Yes, of course.
All right, what more can be said about Joshua Kimmich? Fantastic talent right from his youthful age. Now that he's 30, he looks like he's very to go. So it reminds us about Philip Lam, the player who can play in midfield and play.
Yes, of course.
Fullback, very composed, knows how to distribute the balls well. You know, and all of that. I think it's been a very organized setup from back to the forward line, and Manuel Neuer, I mean,
awesome goalkeeper.
39 rather. To still be delivering at this level. I mean, no. So I feel Vincent Kompany is very lucky that all his players are informed all at the same time. And that team is really organized. You know, they play with very much understanding. If you take a look at it, from the starting lineup this season, Luis Díaz is a new addition.
Yes, of course.
All the struggles that they had last year, you know, they've been able to master themselves, understand themselves. There's more cohesiveness in the team, more organization. And Luis Díaz coming to the team didn't disrupt it. Instead, he brought in a lot of goals from Messi side.
All right, away from Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich, let's go straight to Anfield. Liverpool are now looking like a Real Madrid of 16, 17, 18 season, whereby they have not been doing well in the league. Of course, when it comes to champions, they've now won game back-to-back. They defeated Frankfurt and now almighty Real Madrid. 1-0 in favor of Liverpool. Courtesy of that goal from the man called Alnassr. What a great performance from Liverpool last night against Real Madrid. What did they do right, Daniel?
I mean, every match between Liverpool and Real Madrid is a grudge match, especially for Liverpool, because I mean, if not for Real Madrid, Liverpool would have been the second most successful team in the UEFA
In the
Champions League.
history of Champions League, yes, of course.
Yeah, because they've won the Champions League 6 times. Real Madrid have won 15 times, followed by AC Milan 7 times, and Liverpool and Bayern Munich are on 6. But Liverpool are featured in the finals 3 times in the last 8 years, and they've only managed to win 1. The only time they've won, the only final that they didn't face Real Madrid. Faced Real Madrid in 2018, lost by 3 goals to 1. Faced them in 2022, lost by a goal to 0. All right, so I believe it's a grudge match any time they come up against Real Madrid. Just rather unfortunate that they choose the wrongest moment to face victory. They'll rather lose this match and win the final. You understand? So, but that's Real Madrid for you. When they hear that UEFA Champions League anthem, especially in the final, it's a different ball game. It's one of the most difficult things to do in football. Coming up against Real Madrid in the final of the UEFA Champions League. All right. So
yes, of course.
I think Liverpool were very, very direct yesterday. They allowed Real Madrid to have more of the ball, but they were more direct. You could see them shots on target flowing back to back to back. And what an irony! Alexis McAllister, usually the shortest man on the pitch last night, especially when we had more than 24 players in that box. At least we had 24 players in that box, and at the end of the day, the shortest man on the pitch got the header. I think it's such an irony, and obviously it goes to the fact that the point in the direction of the fact that being the shortest man on the pitch, attention wasn't packed on him, and he took advantage of that. Yeah, so reminds me of the tortoise. How the tortoise are always very smart, and how smallish they can be on the ground.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I think beyond the goal, he had a very fantastic outing. He was involved here and Gravenberg. Dominic Szoboszlai is a monster of a player right now. I really don't know. It makes it too difficult for Florian Wirtz to get that position to play as a number 10, because his impact on this team is something else. When it comes to set pieces, when he has to sacrifice to play as a fullback.
Yes, of course. As a right back, you can play as a DM, number 10, supporting striker.
His ball recovery, everything is fantastic. I think they are very, very lucky to have the Hungarian in their ranks. And Mohamed Salah, we know, is still not at that top level. Still kind of still rusty. Still lacks that efficiency that he always has in front of goal. But thankfully, Szoboszlai, Ekitike, and McAllister put up a good performance. And Conor Bradley did a very good job.
Yes, of course.
All right. It was amazing to see that he could perform at such a level against a player who is the
like
current
Vinicius.
holder of the FIFA the Best award. I think it's a very reputable performance from the 22-year-old doing that against one of the best dribblers in the world right now. I think I have to give him kudos and just hope that he keeps it up and fight for the starting bet when it comes to the right back position.
All right, away from that, let's move straight to Slavia Prague versus Arsenal. Daniel, we will definitely celebrate any team that will score against Arsenal this time around. They won again 3-0 against Slavia Prague. When are they going to concede?
Arsenal are now on an 8-game
yes, of course.
Streak in competition. At this point in time, they're the only team that are yet to compete in this year's Champions League group stages. In the group stage, they scored 11 goals and they've conceded none. It's a very peculiar record for them to have, because I can't remember. I don't think it's ever happened that the team has played 4 games at the beginning of the UEFA Champions League season without conceding a goal. I think it's been a very remarkable season for Arsenal. And I want to comment. Okay, so pardon me, they're not the only teams to. They're not the only team to have not considered. I just remember Inter Milan have also not considered in the Champions League this season. You know, so but with that said, I think it's been a very, very successful season for Arsenal. They are only second in the Champions League this season on close defense at this point in time. Yeah, Queen Sheet FC, Netflix FC is now known as Queen Sheet FC. I think it's a welcome development for them. At this point in time, you may need to write a letter to Mikel Arteta and ask for permission before you can score Arsenal. And it's something that is really, really remarkable for coming from Arsenal.
Like I said, we definitely throw a party. All right, away from Arsenal, let's go straight to almighty Juventus. I don't think there is anything almighty about Juventus. Another draw soup. 1-1 against Sporting CP. Tottenham defeated Copenhagen 4-0. Napoli played a goalless draw against Frankfurt. Atletico Madrid defeated Union Saint-Gilloise 3-1. Bodo Glimt lost at home to Monaco 0-1. Olympiacos played a 1-0 draw against PSV Eindhoven. Let's move straight to today's games. And of course, Pavos will definitely host Villarreal. Karabag will host Chelsea. We definitely expect Chelsea to take this one on paper. Manchester City versus Borussia Dortmund. The Beast, the Viking, playing against his former team. Talking about Erling Haaland. How many goals are we expecting from Erling Haaland today, Daniel?
I mean, in as much as Haaland has been scoring for points, you know, I don't know. It's been difficult for him to bag a hat-trick this season, except when he plays for the national team, you know. So we could be looking at the possibility of him bagging a brace. I mean, he scored a lot of braces this season. Just like you mentioned, he's facing his former side, the side that traded him to City. You know, it's more like a reunion for some of the players. And I expect that, you know, Haaland is going to continue his goal scoring streak, like you rightfully said. It's going to be a very interesting game because you know Dortmund, very attacking side. You know, Manchester City also likes to attack, but both teams have also shown that they've shifted their focus also to the defensive side. I mean, Dortmund have been playing more responsibly this season. They hardly concede as much, you understand, and that's why you can see after 9 games in the Bundesliga, they've only conceded 6 goals.
Yes, of course.
That's unlike that's not the Dortmund that we know. After 9 games, by now you were expecting that they were considered about 12 goals, but probably would have scored about 27. You know, because I think that their way of life is give and let give. You know, but I'm impressed with how solid they've been defensively so far. So we might not be in for a lot of goals, but definitely I understand Erling Haaland to score is a no-brainer.
All right, away from that, as City, let's move straight to Newcastle United versus Atletico Bilbao. Ajax versus Galatasaray. We expect Victor James to see Mr. Record Breaker, of course, to also turn up against Ajax tonight. Club Brugge versus Barcelona. Your thoughts? Onyedika is back, and of course, it's going to be a tough one for Barca. Hello, Daniel. Are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
All right.
It seems like you're rooting for Club Brugge tonight.
It's because Barcelona has not been doing well. If you take a look at their games in the last 5 weeks or some few weeks ago, they've not been doing well. And going to Belgium is going to be a tough one for them.
Club Brugge have they started the UEFA Champions League this season on a very, very, very good note. I remember once they won, they defeated Monaco by 4 goals.
Yes, of course.
1. Our own Rafael Onyedika was on the score sheet. He scored the second goal in that match. But ever since it's been a rough ride. I mean, he lost to Atalanta in match day 2, match day 3, also lost scandalously to Bayern Munich. But I mean, there's no shame in losing to Bayern Munich this season. All right, so I think it's going to be a very tough match really for Club Brugge. They play at home, which is you want to say is an advantage for them. All right, but you look at the fact that you know they've considered in every game that they played in the Champions League this season, and they come up against a team that is known for their attacking power, right? Then you are out for something. All right. You look at the fact that you know they are in good form, like you rightfully said. As a matter of fact, in the last five games they played in all competitions, the only loss that they faced was against Bayern Munich in match day 2, at match day 3 rather. Okay, can they, you know, bring their league form to the Champions League? That's what we don't know if they can. But I mean, Barcelona are on a scoring streak. I've lost count of how many matches they've scored consecutively. And you also understand that they've never defeated Barcelona before. The best result they've gotten against Barcelona was in the UEFA Cup back then, in year 2000, where they secured a 1-0 draw. All right, but ever since that particular fixture, they played twice. That was 2 years after in the Champions League, where Barcelona won 3-2 at the Camp Nou, and also won at the Jean Brédé Stadium. That's the home ground of Club Brugge by 1 to do. So I don't think we're going to say anything different. Club Brugge shouldn't cause an upset for Barcelona. Barcelona need this victory to instill fear on their opponent and letting them passing that message that they are still in the run for the Champions League and the La Liga.
All right, let's see how it goes. Of course, we'll definitely be seeing the likes of Lamine Yamal, Marcus Rashford going forward, Ferran Torres, and of course, the man called Pedri. All right, other fixtures. Benfica will definitely host the Bayer Leverkusen. Inter Milan versus Kairat Amate. Olympique de Marseille we host Ademola Lookman side Atalanta. And how is how much we can take on Sport on Enterprise TV 7. Endeavor to subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified of all alerts. Follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Like, share, and engage on our content. Visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com for all the news you can use, the inclusives, and the live updates. Daniel Ezege has been great on the show today. Daniel?
It feels good to be back on the MIC, and I look forward to joining you yet again.
All right, my name remains John Alnassr. See you next time.